Hey Web family, welcome back to my channel for Web by Mosley, where we take our time, teach you design, and we have fun while we're doing it. Today, I definitely have something fun for you. We are going to create a DIY copper backdrop. Yes, you heard me correctly, a DIY copper backdrop that you can take along with you to events. You can decorate, have some fun with it, and so that's what we're going to tackle today. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe by hitting the button below, and let's get into the video.
Wedding and events and decor is what we love. So I think that you should follow us. Cause we gon' take our time and help you learn design. So ring the bell, cause we do it well. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Alright, so as I mentioned in the intro, we are going to be making a DIY copper backdrop. As you just saw, I went to Home Depot and got everything that I needed for today. So I'm just going to show you the items really quickly. I got these copper, these are called T-shape? Yeah, copper T-shape pieces. Then I got the 90-degree elbow pieces. I got 6 pieces of 1.5 inch long copper pipes. I got this, it's made by Husky. It's called a copper cutter, and you'll see what I need to use this for. And this is the only thing I didn't get from Home Depot. I ordered this on Amazon. It is called Copper Lock, and it's what I'm going to be using to seal all of my pieces together. You'll also need a Sharpie of some sort in order to mark off your measurements, which leads me to the tape measure. You need that as well. And so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do in order to build our copper backdrop is to measure out our pieces. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you, and then I'll be right back.
Alright, so what I'm doing here is taking my copper pieces and forming my shape for my backdrop. And I'm just using the side pieces to measure off how long I would like the top of my backdrop to be. I'll then grab my marker and mark off where I'm going to be cutting, and do the same thing with the base of my backdrop. The next thing I'll do is take my measuring tape, and just to confirm each piece is even.
Alright, so now that I measured off the pieces that I'm going to be using for the top of my backdrop and the base of my backdrop, what I'm going to do is take this copper cutter. I'm going to mark it on the line that we just got finished making. And all you do is you take the copper cutter and just put it right on the line. Just it squeezes into place. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's just squeezed right directly to place. Then the next thing you do, take this copper cutter, and you literally, it's so simple, you just turn it. It doesn't move. Once you lock it on there, it doesn't move left or right. You're only able to turn it. So you're going to turn it, and as you're turning it, you're going to feel this copper cutter getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. so I'm going to do the same thing to my base. And I did go ahead and use my measuring tape to make sure that they both were equal. So I'm going to find the mark that I made. And again, repeat that same step. Take my copper cutter, put it on the line that we made, and then I'm going to just turn it until it cuts through. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm just going to double check that they're even. Alright, and so my two side pieces I actually do not need to cut because the length that they are is the length that I am going to use for my backdrop, so I don't need to cut those. For my top piece, I have that cut. This is the piece I'm going to use. But for my base, because I'm going to make it in the shape of a rectangle, I actually need to cut one more piece. And that's because I'm going to have the front of my base and the back of my base, along with two sides that you'll see me demonstrate cutting right after this. And that way my backdrop will be sturdy because the bottom will be a rectangle. And so say you're taking this backdrop and you're putting it in grass, on some rocky concrete, that'll make it more secure. And so that's why I like to do it in the shape of a rectangle. So I'm just going to measure off one more piece for the base. Again, take my copper cutter. Perfect. And so because I'm going to start working on the base of this backdrop, I'm going to put my other materials to the side. Just as a quick review, our first step will be to measure out the length of our top piece and our two base piece for our backdrop. Once you measure them out, you're going to use your copper cutter and cut them out.
Alright, so I'm just repeating the same step in order to form my base. I'm just taking two pieces, measuring them off. I'm going to use my copper cutter to make sure they are even and use those as the pieces for the sides of my base. I realized that in the camera you couldn't really see what I was doing, so I am going to adjust the camera so that it is easier for you guys to look at the work. Okay guys, now we're going to take our elbow pieces, the ones that are measured at 90-degree angle, and place them on the sides of our base. And we're just using them to make sure that everything is measured properly. We're not gluing them as of yet. Again, we're just making sure everything is at the correct length and nice and sturdy for our base. And then I'm going to demonstrate the next step, which is taking those two smaller side pieces of our base and adding on our T-shape, which will be used for the taller sides of our copper backdrop. So we need our T-shaped pieces to go in the middle of the sides that we're using for our base. So what we're going to do is take our tape measure and measure directly half of those pieces. So I saw that this piece was about 20 inches, so I'm going to mark off 10 inches on where I want to cut the piece in half. And I'm going to do the same thing with the second piece, just measure off 10 inches, making sure it's completely half of those side pieces. Once I cut at the 10-inch mark, I'm going to put all four pieces together. Again, just double checking that they are all measured evenly. Now I will be able to insert both sides in the middle of the T piece. Alright, now that I confirm that everything is measured properly, I feel comfortable gluing my pieces on. And so I'm just taking this copper glue and I am placing it around the entire circle of my copper pieces, just at the tip, and inserting it within the T-piece. Please be careful that glue is fast drying. So once you place it on, again, make sure everything is lined up properly because it will dry within 5 minutes. I'm also going to start gluing those 90-degree elbow pieces onto my base, just repeating the same steps, taking my glue, placing it around the tip of the piece, and then inserting it into the 90-degree elbow piece. Now, I will say that glue is kind of messy. So another tip will be to glue it on top of something, maybe a plastic tarp or a sheet. That way you don't want to ruin the surface that you're working on. So as you see, I'm just going ahead and gluing those elbow pieces on. Once my elbow pieces are glued on, I can now insert the side pieces that include the T-shape in the middle. Alright, now that the base is all glued and secure, we can move on to the top of our backdrop. We're going to take those two long side pieces and stick them directly in the T-shapes that are in our base. And then we're going to take the top of our backdrop that we measured earlier, take two more of those 90-degree elbow pieces and place them on each end. And then take the sides and stick them at the bottom of those elbow pieces. Alright, here are the final results of our DIY copper backdrop. If you notice, I did not glue the top piece onto our backdrop because I want to make it easy for me to break it down and transport it to my event. So I can just take the top off and take those two side pieces off, and it will certainly be easy to transport. I hope these tips help you if you try to make this backdrop at home. It was super easy.
Alright guys, we are done. As you see, it turned out amazing and it didn't take us any time at all. If you're able to learn these steps, you could probably make this backdrop in less than 30 minutes. I'll have a link below with all of the items that we use in today's video. And then I'm also going to create another video that shows you 3 ways in which you can decorate this copper backdrop. So we're going to take it from just this plain backdrop, thank you ring, just this plain backdrop, and I'm going to again show you 3 ways in which we can elevate it and take it to the next level. So make sure you check out that video as well. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and turn on your post notifications. That way you won't ever miss a video. Make sure you like, comment, and share. And comment. I know I just said that, but comment. You are a part of the web family, so I want to hear from you. If you decide to make this backdrop, please tag me in the video of you making it. I want to see how it turned out. But thank you so much for watching this video today. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under the same name, Web by Mosley. Thank you guys. Love ya.